Welcome to Tasty Flu and Cold Prevention with Candace Hunter Creations. I'm Candace Hunter. I am an herbal educator, a family herbalist, and an herbal and natural living coach. That means that I help folks learn how natural ways to care for themselves and their families, find the right herbs to use, and make the lifestyle choices that they want to make. Today I want to talk a little bit about keeping flus and colds out of your space. There are three basic strategies that I like to use. The first one is exercise. We all know that we should be doing more of that, and we need to choose the appropriate exercise. The second one, of course, is sleeping well and properly. There are a lot of herbs you can use to help for that, either of those things. But during this busy time of year, I personally find that the third strategy is not only the easiest, but it's also my favorite. So what is that third strategy? That third strategy is diet. Changing your diet can have a huge, huge impact on your health. Change my diet, right? Oh my God, but I'm too busy. Isn't that what we all say about, honestly, exercise, sleep, and diet at this time of year? Sure, we are really busy. But the truth is, just adding a few new ingredients, trying a few different spices, it doesn't have to be big. We can make small and simple changes to begin helping our bodies be healthier, and we can do this all naturally. Let's talk about 5 super easy herbs that are absolutely delicious you can potentially add to your diet. Elderberry, rosehips, cinnamon, lychee berry, and honey. Now, all of these are really, really good for you. The first one I want to talk about is elderberry. Many people have heard of elderberry. It's been around for an awfully long time. Elderberry is known to strengthen cell walls. There's a lot of scientific studies that have been done on it. It makes the body more resilient to diseases, in part by making your cell walls stronger. It has gentle warming and moving energies, which means that elderberry helps to drive the microbes like the bacteria and viruses that get you down with cold and flus. It helps drive them out of your system. One of the keys with elderberries is you want to make sure that you take it every day. The next ingredient I want to talk about here is rosehips. Rosehips are a classic old-timey ingredient that people have used for centuries. They didn't necessarily know why way back when it was so good for your body, but we know today that rosehips are filled with vitamin C. The redder and the darker they are, the better. Rosehips are cooling, so when you're using them in accompaniment with the other ingredients we're talking about today, they help to balance out some of the heating aspects of these ingredients. They are also good at gently draining the dampness out of your system. So the flus and colds that like to harbor in the mucousy areas of your body, rosehips help to protect those. And for some additional protection, we're looking to cinnamon. Cinnamon is a wonderful warming herb. In fact, in traditional Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine, it's often considered a hot herb because it is really so good at moving circulation and heating up the system. It's also antimicrobial. We've got studies that show that. And cinnamon, one of the things I think is absolutely beautiful about it is it helps to reduce balanced blood sugar, so it can reduce cravings. So particularly during the cold and flu season, which often happens right here in conjunction with the holiday season when everybody's having cookies and cakes and everything smells so delicious and so easy in the mid-afternoon to just break down and eat something all, sugary and good, even though you're really not hungry. But cinnamon does a wonderful job. It's been one of my tricks for a long time for getting past those cravings and making sure that when I do decide to eat something tasty and delectable, I'm really making it count. The next ingredient I want to talk about here is lychee berry. It's also called goji berry or Chinese wolfberry. Lychees fruits, they're little tiny fruits. They're really tasty. They are generally neutral in energy and are considered to be building to the system, which means that they will help to build and maintain the healthy system or healthy body that you already have. They also have liver protecting constituents that scientists are starting to identify that will help to protect and cleanse your liver. One of the things with lychee berries, though, is that if you have an active flu and cold that's already begun, you prefer to not have those. they will tend to feed the flu and cold, and you don't want that. But as long as you don't have the first sniffles yet, you go ahead and use your lychee berries. The last ingredient I want to talk about here today is honey. Now, my key with honey is to do raw, local honey. I don't like to use stuff that's been imported or that's been heated or pasteurized. In part, that's because honey is honestly, it's the food and medicine that the bees make for themselves. So if I'm eating some of the medicine that the bees in my own neighborhood made for themselves, it will contain the same kinds of microbes and antivirus, antibacterial actions that I'm going to need, because the bees and I are facing similar conditions. So that's the way that I look at it. But honestly, if the only way you can get honey into your diet is to get it imported from somewhere else, and it might be pasteurized, it's not raw anymore, honey still has some nice, wonderful warming and drying properties. It's particularly helpful when you've got the first mucusy feeling of the flu and cold starting, or clearing it out at the end. So what are you going to do with all of these wonderful, tasty ingredients? One of my favorite recipes is elderberry eluxuaries. You can find the recipe at my website, CandaceHunter.com. Honestly, it's super simple though. You get the ingredients, you powderize them, or you buy them powdered from a reputable and trustworthy herbalist or herbal supplier. And then you mix them together. You put in enough honey just to get them so they become sort of Play-Doh-like, so that you can shape them into balls. They're going to be a little bit sticky. So, careful not to have too much honey in there. And then, you shape them into balls. Again, the recipe's on my website. I've got a how-to there. It's super easy. But what if you don't want to make eluxuaries? There are so many different ways you can use these ingredients. Rosehips are wonderful in soup. Sounds crazy, I know, but they add a little bit of sour. So in the times when I would normally to a spaghetti sauce, where I might normally want to add just a little bit of that bright lemony flavor, in winter during the flu and cold season, I'll often add a little bit extra of the rosehips. You can put them in your smoothies. You can add elderberries. In fact, you can take a whole entire elderberry eluxuary and put that into your teacup just with some boiling hot water. It'll make a nice tea for you. But you can also add cinnamon to your coffee, to your tea, your chai. Chai is wonderful for flu and cold prevention. Put a little bit of cinnamon or some elderberries into your yogurt, into your oatmeal. It's limitless. It's all about creativity, and adding these ingredients will really, really help. Flu and cold season is here, folks. Make sure you cover your bases with herbs. Make sure you get you good sleep, good exercise, and a good diet. It's the key to staying well. If you liked this talk, you should be aware that it is the ultra short version of a longer class that I can offer. If you know a company or other organization who would love to help their members avoid getting sick this season, by all means, give me a shout. I'd love to come and teach your group more about tasty flu and cold prevention. You can find me at CandaceHunter.com. And enjoy.